Good evening, everyone. I hand over to the chair for tonight's meeting. I remind everyone here in the room, we are now live streaming. We politely request that all participants wait until being invited to speak by the chair. If you wish to speak, please raise your hand. Once invited to speak, please preface your contribution by stating your name. This will help the mics lock in on the primary speaker and thereby maximise the sound quality for those listening at home, watching at home, sorry. If you're watching at home and wish to participate in tonight's meeting, please turn your video on. If you are just observing, please turn your video off. Unless actively speaking, all those watching the meeting via Zoom should have their mics muted. In the case of a fire evacuation, the fire point is the marketplace. For this evening, there will be no fire drills. I will now hand you over to tonight's chair, Councillor Raby.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday, the 19th of November 2024's Economic Development and Planning Committee meeting. First off, can I have any apologies?
I have nothing.
Thank you very much. Item 2, any declarations of interest? No, thank you. Item 3, public participation. I'm going to make a suggestion, if you guys don't mind. I'd like to propose that we move item 8.1, so item 8, then 8.1, up to the start of the agenda, because the lady here is here from Giffords to talk on it. Could I invite you to please come up? Just please take a seat. If comfortable, if you could just explain the application you're putting through for LHFIG, our members here.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Emma Fletcher. I'm the managing partner at Giffords Surgery. We've recently putting a request for consideration to request some road signage for the surgery on Spa Road. The reason for doing is that we're aware that new signage has recently been erected as part of the new roadway for Spa surgery, and Giffords don't have any. So in regards for fairness, competitiveness and being there for our patients, we would like to put in a request to have signage either on Spa Road, roundabout and just outside the practice where you turn into the hospital.
Councillor Orford?
Is it one of the sort of the brown information signs just to say surgery this way, or is it?
It's a white sign, so Spa Surgery have got a white sign.
Is it like a branded one or one of those?
No, it's a proper road sign.
It's a proper normal road sign just to say Spa Road Surgery.
You have white ones for information, brown are for points of interest.
Okay.
So we appreciate there may be a cost to that, which we're happy to meet. But yeah, we'd just like to be fairly represented to our patients.
Thank you. So anybody else?
No.
Councillor?
Yeah, what happened is that if we accept it, which I hope we do, because it sounds very reasonable, highways will advise exactly where the signs go and what they're like, and I'm sure they'll be exactly the same as the others. And they're not very expensive, so.
Councillor Griffin?
You mentioned having signage on Spa Road. Anything more adjacent to the surgery itself, or at the roundabout at this end of Spa Road?
We would be happy to pay for 2 or 3 signs. Council permit that, but again, I appreciate highways maybe will have an input and recommendation. So yeah, we would like a couple if possible, but we appreciate.
I'd like to see us support this, obviously on the basis of what highways say in terms of where they think it's acceptable to have signage.
Yeah, it's the highways decision where the signs are,
Yeah.
what they're like.
Yeah.
Councillor Anderson?
Yeah, I mean, I think in principle, yes. I think LHFIG very often is actually funded by the council rather than by the people having the stuff done. That's the point of LHFIG, isn't it?
No, it's part and part. So I forget exactly what it is now. Is it half and half? It used to be a third.
Because there was something about what, I mean, if the lady in the surgery are happy to pay for it and do it themselves, then that's, as far as I'm concerned, yes, let's look for an official Wiltshire Highways recommendation and support it.
Yeah, I'm happy to propose.
We can be purely, I think we're purely advisory on this rather than saying, yes, you definitely got it.
Yeah, okay.
It's a,
I would like
it's
to
local government.
I'd like to recommend that we push this proposal through to LHV. Do you have a seconder? Thank you.
It's very reasonable. I think the next meeting is in February with the NHS.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you ever so much for coming along.
I'm the rep from the town council on that meeting, so.
Okay, lovely. Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you. You can have an early evening. Okay, moving on to item 4, then this is to approve the minutes of the Economic Development and Planning Committee meeting held on the 29th of October 2021. Any questions? If we have you, somebody to, thank you, Andrew, and a seconder. Thank you, Pat. All in favour? Thank you. Much. Moving on to item 5, these are planning considerations. Members are to note that when responding to planning applications, consideration should be given to the Melksham Street Neighbourhood Plan, the Wiltshire Core Strategy and the National Planning Policy Framework. So moving on to our applications. 6.1, I'm really hoping that everybody's had a really good, careful look at this. I know I haven't, Graham has, and Andrew has. So this is full planning permission for 83 Sandridge Road, construction of two bedroom bungalows in the rear garden. I'm not going to say anything about that. Open the floor up to Councillor Griffin.
The application makes reference to Ames Road, which doesn't appear anywhere in Melksham. And it also says that there are no trees on the site. I've not been there myself recently. But certainly back in the summer, there was a line of trees on the boundary between the property and the Foresters Arms car park.
Have you looked at the photographs that are on there?
Yes. It shows trees.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Perhaps then.
Okay, I'll go Councillor Orford, then Councillor Ellis.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I know this site quite well. I'm not comfortable with the highways access for the extra vehicles coming south. I know there's a roundabout just to the side there. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of seeing these kind of developments in gardens. It leads to, I think, an overdevelopment of the site. In this case, these are quite big properties. So I think there's an overdevelopment. I'm not comfortable with the highways access. Essentially, I'm not overly keen. That's still what I've got to say, but at the moment, I'd like to find a reason.
Councillor Ellis?
Yes, I mean, I would look at this as in, I think, Councillor Aves's ward. I would love to hear her opinion on it here. I mean, I'm, like Councillor Alford here in balance about this one, ooh, ouch. But yet, you sort of wonder, it's close. I mean, when I wonder at the houses, but it's not our concern. It's, overlooking the pub car park. Are we going to start getting complaints about car noise from there? And I look at it and I say that cars going in have actually got to go past the existing house and to the back house, past the forward house, sort of wiggling around. So it just strikes me as, well, I wouldn't want to live there.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt when I read it. I thought overcrowded, and I have too thought about the complaints from the pub, because people will want bungalows are in very high demand, and so it looks like an attractive option, and I'm sure they'd sell. But it's just what follows, and also the access as well. It's not the right place.
No.
Sad that it is, because it's much needed housing.
Yeah, I mean, that was my concerns as well, and my concerns were also about the precedent you then set for that entire road, because there are a lot of big gardens on that piece
Exactly.
of road. Once that gate is opened, and then as you say, as Councillor Orford said, then the overdevelopment potential for that road. And no denying it's houses that are needed, but this is probably not the right location. Councillor Ellis?
Yes, I mean, it's not for us to do the sort of, possibly even sort of say this in public, whoops. But if the access were off the Foresters car park, then it might be a somewhat different view in terms of, in terms of the access to it, to them, but
That never happened.
no, I mean, my feeling is, the access to it near the development is probably erring on the side of narrowing down to a councillor Aves coming along with similar lines.
Okay, in that case, then I think we're all pretty much in agreement. I don't think there's a lot more.
Advise against.
Yes, we would, yes. Are you proposing that, Pat?
Yeah, that's, yes.
Thank you very much. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, councillor Rice. All in favour? That's unanimous. Thank you very much. So moving on to 6.2, and this is application 09642, works to a protected tree on 122 Southwark Avenue. Re-pollard oak tree in rear garden back to previous pollard points. Again,
Yeah.
I suppose. We'll probably take any seconder or in favour. Thank you. On to 6.3, which is application 08832, and this is advertisement consent for 8 High Street, Melksham. Main signage and window graphics to advertise the business within.
As long as it's inside that.
Councillor Griffin,
I have commented on this myself personally,
do you declare your interest?
sort of. I'm a neighbour, so.
Any other thoughts on this?
As long as it's inside the building.
Yeah, I've got builders on consent. Councillor Offord?
Yeah, no, I used to think, I was looking at this one earlier. This is the blue tax one. I mean, it's more of a sort of general comment, but I am generally concerned about the quality of the signage of what's going up in Melksham. I mean, some of the signs that we've got are huge, great, big, ugly, red, yellow banners. They look awful. So the fact that they appear to put quite a bit of effort into this, they've got a plan application in, it looks significantly better than what I think we're seeing elsewhere in the town. So I think broadly it's been welcome. So I'm quite comfortable with it personally.
Are you happy to
But it
propose?
is a significant improvement on what I've seen elsewhere. So yeah, I'm happy to propose.
Thank you, councillor Offord. Do you have a seconder? Councillor Stokes, all in favour? Yeah, it's unanimous. Thank you very much. 6.4, application 09965, proposed works of trees and a conservation area. So this is 5 Church Walk. Proposal T1 willow fell to dismantle the large over-mature multi-stem willow to replant with a tree more appropriate for the location. T2, which is the birch, to reduce by roughly 3 metres, removing the major dead wood. Tree is inflicted with bleeding canker and a fungus reducing the crown of the tree by this amount will help to manage the weight and remove some of the infected sections. Yeah. But councillor Oates is proposing it to have a seconder.
Yeah.
Whoever, all in favour?
It's nice to see people taking care of trees.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
It's not just letting them run riot.
And the willow's not a it's not particularly a precious species, is it? It's a shame. They look good, but sorry.
6.5, which is application 09935, proposed works to trees in the conservation area. This is 20 King Street, and this is a cherry tree and 2 maples crowned to reduce by 2.5 metres.
Yeah.
Again, take anybody all in favour? Again,
Again, nice to see people taking care of trees.
Item 6.6, application 09775, advertisement consent for Nortree Motors on Beanacre Road, erection of a freestanding double-sided small film format advertising display.
I did have a conversation. Sorry.
That's all.
Yeah, I did have a conversation with the plan officer about this. I was a little bit uncomfortable initially. They are going to dim it at night, tone it down. But it's so they like generally big colourful signs because it's particularly when you've got that listed farmhouse next to it, because it kind of impacts a little bit on the visual appearance of the area. But
Yeah, 24-hour illuminated petrol station there.
I was going to say that already.
I don't think this time is really going to impact.
Yeah. As I was going to say. No, it was more about the cumulative effect of having lots and lots of signs, but you are right. And that was something I did sort of
You can still take a photo.
hum and har about.
Farmhouse without any signs.
No,
That's
I
how I
agree.
judge it.
And I did hum and har about this one for a while, but they are going to dim it at night, and it's not as not as invasive, not as significant as the one that is there. But you are right, there is a big a big ugly BP sign that we can't do anything about. So I'm reasonably comfortable with that if you need a proposer.
Well, I'm happy to propose it.
Hmm.
Seconder, thank you. All in favour? Thank you very much.
You seconded, or was it just pick anyone?
Anyone?
I
join?
wait.
Anybody?
We should take it in turns.
Yeah, just make,
Yeah, I tend to make it up anyway.
just mix it up a bit. Item 6.7, which is application 09454, the land of Abina Court for erection of a substation. Councillor Griffin.
As I understand it, consent for the proposed care home has not yet been finalised. So until that happens, do they need a substation?
Well, probably because of all the houses that are being built around that area.
Yeah, I suspect it's probably it's probably not just for the care home, it's probably covering more than just that. And actually, talking from experience, being in business in Melksham without, it was actually a really big lack of substations, because I know when we were putting our EV charging points in, we were really struggling for power, because there is a really big,
That was one of the
Lack of
reasons why it
infrastructure.
wasn't built, wasn't it?
correct, yeah, so, Councillor.
Uh,
I don't like green, but who's Brooks?
I'll just
I
change
don't
my
know.
answer. They've got, they've obviously talked to SSE about it. They've got the, professional advice on it, been told they need it. From the looks of it, even though it hasn't been fully gone through for the care home, it is coming through. It's needed, it's going to be a brick,
Yeah, it's not.
it's not going to be a ghastly, great big, metal construction. If it's needed, it's not going to be an eyesore. I don't see why not.
Do I propose anything in that case then? Thank you, Councillor Stokes, for the right this time. Do I have a seconder? Again, whatever you like. All in favour? Thank you very much. Right, item 7, which is planning decisions. So 7.1 was application 08345, proposed works of trees in the conservation area 50 King Street. We gave no, so we supported it, there was no objection, I think that's all tickety boo. 7.2, application 08126 for 54 Churchill Avenue, the 2-storey extension. We supported it, was approved with conditions. 7.3, which was application 07087 for 1 Hamilton Road, single-storey wraparound side and rear extension. Again, we supported and approved with the condition. What's the item 8 and 8.1 we've done? For item 9, Parish Steward, I just want to first of all say, Andrew, thank you very much for sending out the updates on what they're doing. I'm really impressed by how much stuff they've been doing recently. It seems like almost every couple of weeks we're getting huge updates on stuff, and it's all the stuff we keep talking about as well, which is really encouraging. And
I think it's because with Ian, the current one, we've established a
that's brilliant.
actual personal sort of face-to-face relationship, so I think it makes it better.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, I would say in terms of, unless anybody's got anything specific, but just carry on doing what they're doing, because they seem to have a handle on.
Yeah, he's obviously taking as much pride in seeing it nice and clean and tidy as we want it to be, which is great.
Yeah, no, very happy. Does anybody have any items to add to our usual list of stuff that we asked Parish Steward to do?
I haven't got anything on my mind for this
No,
time.
that's all. In that case, guys, it's all right.
But if
So-
anything, I'll leave it.
Just to say, when we were in the budget meeting last night, I didn't raise it at the time, I should have spoke to you separately. I noticed, are we still live?
Yeah.
I can finish it.
They finish.